Hello, welcome back to Blender Sushi Livening. In this episode, I'll be sharing with you the breakdown of these eyeball creatures created using Blender. Everything is basically procedural, including the eyeballs. But the eyeballs itself, I believe it's made by Suzuki Ryuma. You can actually find it online somewhere. Um, Now, okay, let me quickly close the reality controller because it's kind of slow at the moment. So you can probably guess how I created this. It's basically I started with an icosphere. That's why we have this kind of pattern. And the eyeballs itself is all instance using geometry nodes. So I'm using the latest 2.92 beta. And so with this setup, with the eyeball, you can have a bit of control on how many eyeballs you want to have on these creatures. So with the icosphere, I basically, okay, let's work like this. Super slow somehow. So with the icosphere, I basically just do a little bit of inset to create this hole, this loophole, and then as for the eyeballs itself, I'm taking the origin points of every icosphere polygon face as simply as the placement for the eyeball. You might notice that the eyeball is also kind of rotating on itself. Okay, so that's the neat effects that you can get using geometry nodes. Okay, with the latest 2.92, we actually have this align rotation to vector and also point rotate. So with point rotate, we can rotate the eyeballs manually, each one of them separately. So that's kind of neat. And you can randomize here using the seed. So the seed with the seed itself, I actually plug in the frame number. So for every frame is randomizing the seed. The eyeballs itself is placed here under collection, so I can grab these eyeballs and simply point instance each eyeball into the center of each icosphere. So that's basically what it is. It's pretty simple, easy to understand, and you end up with this kind of interesting looking creatures. As for baking it into AR, you just need to be careful with the PBR materials. Make sure the reflections and the transparency, everything works correctly with this guy. So yeah, that's basically what it is. So let me try explaining again. So this is the geometry nodes applied as a modifier into the points. So I just have points from spectral, the center point of each icosphere, and I can control the scaling of the eyeballs as well using this attribute fill. Align rotation to vector, so you're aligning the eyeballs using the vector somehow. Okay, somehow this works. It's not always clear where it's pointing, but I'm using the vector position of each point, so it's kind of simply pointing into the correct directions. And then I have this attribute randomize. I call the attribute blah, and using this blah as an axis, so we can have this random rotation axis of point rotations, and then simply instance the whole collections. This works pretty well, I think. Alright, so that's how I created this monster eyeball. Hopefully you find this useful and interesting. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.